The 49ers haven't made it known Javon Kinlaw is on the trading block. Yeah, that's great if somebody wants to come take that because that's, $4 million off the cap if they do. But again, if you release him, you get none of that. So the idea of a release makes no sense here. I don't think that makes any sense with with Javon Kinlaw. Now I got two Javons, right? We got Hargrave and Kinlaw. If somebody would, I don't think it'd take much, probably like a sixth or a seventh rounder. But yeah, I just dude, stout. Oh, Matthew, right here. Be young type stout. You're not wrong. If we let's look at just the PFF grades of Javon Kinlaw, and what this does is just break down, a kind of minutia point, snap by snap basis. Defense overall grade 80.1. Pretty damn good. Pass rush, that's where he's going to make his money, 91.9. That's his best. Javon Hargrave's best games this year, his highest grade, two of his highest graded games were in the playoffs. One against the Giants, one against the 49ers. They saw what Hargrave could do. And I think that's just gigantic. Total pressure, 66 for Javon Hargrave. That's crazy. 6 quarterback hits, 48 quarterback hurries, 3 batted passes. You're talking about total tackles, 56. This dude played 809 snaps. And now what I'm going to do here, let me open up a separate window and let me just compare this to the 49ers and kind of what we were able to get out of our defensive line and what that kind of looks like. So let me open this because I think this is key. Okay. If we just look at defensive linemen, Nick Bosa, for example, had the most snaps for the 49ers, 898 snaps. Javon Kinlaw, 809. The second player, Samson Ebukam, 681. Omenihu, 659. Eric Armstead, the most defensive tackle snaps for the 49ers last year, 486. This dude played over 320 more snaps than our number one DT. So what are you getting? The 49ers are notorious for cycling these defensive linemen out. Now you got 3 guys really that you don't have to cycle near as much. And that's Bosa, that's Armstead, and now that's Hargrave. This is crazy. Somebody said Armstead will be gone soon. No, they're going to redo his contract. They're working to restructure it. I don't see that taking place. Why would you make this move and then trade another one that's the same age? 49ers don't have a problem with 30-year-old defensive linemen playing. That could be a concern, but you saw it last year with Fletcher Cox and Hargrave. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I really, really don't. And I don't think that adding this means you have to take away something else. The biggest thing that I'll continue to stress here, this moves Kinlaw off of something you're reliable on. You don't have to rely on him. If you get anything from Kinlaw, great. He's in a rookie deal. If you don't get anything from Kinlaw, you're then fine. But you're not dependent upon Javon Kinlaw's knee. That's what this means. If you get anything from Kinlaw this year, great. It's bonus. Definitely not going to be picking up 5th-year option of Kinlaw. I just don't see that. Luke, the Don says, if we can get Omenihu back and rotate him and Jackson, that would be great. I think you're right. Charles did kind of come out and basically say goodbye to the 49ers. I think that the way that the 49ers usually do business is we're going to lowball offer you. And if you want to stay here, great. If not, go test free agency. That's just the way they did it with Arden Key, Kerry Hyder. You can go on and on and on. That's just what they do. And so Omenihu kind of said goodbye. That's kind of what I see. So anyway, you take that for what we want. Here's the question, CJ. Can we pay Bosa, Armstead, and Hargrave? Yes, you can. Why? Because they're all on different stages. Now we'll have to see the contract numbers. $40 million of Javon Hargrave's contract is guaranteed, which usually we'll have to see what the signing bonus is and all that stuff. But it's going to be about a $10 million cap hit this year. That's my assumption. $8 to $10 million cap hit for Javon Hargrave. You've already got Armstead on the books. Nick Bosa is about to get his deal done close to training camp. But here's what's going to happen with that. His cap hit's going to go down. It's at like $18 million cap hit right now on his 5th-year option. Once you redo that, that's going to fall down to about 8 to 10 million. That's just the way it works. You can look at the Fred Warner deal. You can look at the Kittle deal. You can look at Trent Williams, not Trent Williams. He doesn't work because it wasn't a rookie deal. That cap number goes down and you push it, you stage it off, and you step it off to the future. So yeah, you can definitely that's sustainable for this year and next year for sure. After that, we'll see. Obviously, you're not going to be having these guys play till they're 36 or 37. I don't think that's what's going to happen. So Coach Cruz asked, what's up, Coach? He says, which defensive line are likely to return for the 49ers? You already got, let's go inside out. So defensive interior guys that you have under contract currently. Again, if I miss somebody, I'm going off the top of my head here. Armstead, you've got Javon Hargrave, you've got Kinlaw one more year. You've got Kevin Givens, who's a restricted free agent. They haven't figured that deal out yet, but he can't negotiate with anybody else. That's 4. And Kalia Davis, who you drafted last year. He was a redshirt guy. You're going to work him in. You have 5 defensive tackles. Now, if Kinlaw is going to be traded, then, that number goes down. But there's not a better defensive tackle group in the NFL. I'm sorry. I don't care what you think about Kinlaw. Like, you look at Kevin Givens, who was starting for us last year. You've got the redshirt guy. If you're just looking at the top 2 defensive tackles on any team in the NFL, I'm sorry, you're going to have a pretty damn hard time finding anybody better than Hargrave and Kinlaw. The one area where you would have said last year could have competed with the 49ers would have been the Eagles, and Hargrave and Fletcher Cox. Well, guess what? Now they're here, right? Now Hargrave's here. So you got that. Now, defensive end wise, this is where it gets shallow. You've got Bosa, you've got Drake Jackson. That's pretty much it. Kerry Hyder, free agent. We'll see what happens there. Omenihu, free agent. Samson Ebukam, free agent. Jordan Willis, free agent, right? You lost all those guys. So, and if you look at what the 49ers are meeting with in the draft, it's a lot of edge guys. So if I fully expect that trend to continue, and if I had to say, what is the 49ers' biggest interest moving forward in free agency? It's still defensive line. It's just the edge position. So if there is going to be another splash signing, it's going to be at the edge spot. So just because you made one big signing, I'm just saying, yeah, don't be shocked, baby. Don't be shocked if the Niners go and get somebody else on the edge position. Man, they're busy. This is awesome, man. This is absolutely incredible. If you're a 49ers fan, how could you not be excited? We saw last year with Bosa basically out there by himself early. Armstead comes back and plays really, really quality football. He's not your highlight stats guy. And that's huge. That's huge. And there are 2 more defensive tackles, Hassan Ridgeway and Maurice Hurst, who's just been injured too much. Those guys are free agents. If I had to choose one of these guys to bring back, I'd say Ridgeway. But I think that this draft is stout with defensive tackle depth that you can get in the 5th round. Somebody like a Keandre Colburn, right? Somebody like Ojamo, that would be a 3rd round. Both Texas boys, but man, both fit perfectly.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.